What's up, everybody? NFX from Warbeats.com here. Today's tutorial, I want to talk about how to tune your kicks so that you can use them effectively by playing them in more of a melodic format as opposed to a percussive format. And what that means is most of the time your kicks are just going to be tuned however they're tuned, and they're going to play that low thumping sound that you want to get out of it, right? But you can also use certain kicks in more of like playing notes, like you might play, a melody. Although we're not really going to play an intricate melody, we are going to use them in a way that we want them to be playing specific notes to fit in with the rest of our song. In other words, to fit in to our scale that we're using. Now, if you don't know about scales, be sure and look up my tutorial on scales, and you'll understand why it's important. But for now, let's just continue talking about tuning our kicks. And the project I have currently open, it's a project that I've done, and it's basically pretty simple, but it's based around an A minor scale. Okay, if we look at the chords here that I have set to play as part of this song, and you know what, why don't we just quickly take a listen to the song itself, and just making sure the kicks that I'm going to tune aren't going to play right now. This is just so you can get a feel for what our bass song is going to be sound like. Okay, so you can hear these chords are pretty much the centerpiece of the song itself. There's a little bass line going on. Now we do have a regular kick drum that's not necessarily pitched, that's playing with the drum beat. So the pitched or tuned kick we're going to add is just going to be for extra flavor. So let's go take a look at that since we've been talking about it. This is the part that has the 808 kick in it. Now let me show you the waveform for this 808. This is not a short 808. This is a long decaying 808. Okay, that's what it sounds like. Now what I've done here in this part is I've taken and I've told it to play various notes here, and all of these notes that it's playing, this A, this E, and this higher A up here, are all within my scale. The problem is the sample may not actually be playing those notes because we haven't tuned it yet. Okay, so let me go ahead and play it for you untuned, and we'll get a feel for what it sounds like. And remember, now you're going to hear the original part along with these 808s in here. Okay, so now maybe that sounded okay to you. Maybe some of you know, it wasn't in tune, but it wasn't in tune, okay? So what we need to do is fix that. Very easy to fix. Let's just take care of that right now. Let's bring up the sample and just have it on the screen for a minute. And we could bring up an instance of Edison. We could also, right click here and say we're going to edit it. There's many ways of skinning a cat in FL Studio. So don't obsess over the fact that I didn't do it one way or another, because I'm just showing you how to get the job done. And if you know how to do it in a better way, that's awesome. And I hope you share that better way in the comments below. But anyway, so we're going to drag this sound into our Edison. Edison is very powerful, and it's got so many features. I don't know all the features that are in there, but one of the features I do know is the ability for it to detect pitch regions. We can find that by clicking here, and then on the menu that appears, selecting Detect Pitch Regions. When we do that, you can see that now Edison has detected that the pitch in front of me is at G2, G being the note and 2 being the octave that it's playing in. Now we're not really concerned with the octave. We are concerned with the note. Now, using that information, we can go back to our sample go to the miscellaneous tab. And now we're going to look for a G note. And in this case, I'm just going to go, you can see here the C5 is lit up because that's our root note. In other words, when it's playing based off that being equal to C. But we know this sample is actually a G. So we're going to go down to a G, right click, and it's important that you right click, not left click. Right click, and it will move that root note to the G. You can see here it says the root note is now at G4. Now remember, we're not concerned about the octave, okay? The octave will just make it much higher, much lower, but in this case, we just want to set the root note to the G, which we have just done. Now that we've done that, the C, which used to sound like this, now sounds like this, okay? But what that means is our A will actually sound like an A. And let's just do a test real quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set Edison to record. Let me delete the old data there. Let me set it to record, and then I'm going to go ahead and play a couple of notes. And it's going to record those notes, and we'll detect the pitch. And if it detects the same notes that I played, we know we're perfectly in tune. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to play an A. I'm going to play a C. And I'll play an E. Okay, let me stop the recording. I'm going to tell it once again to detect the pitch regions. Now remember, if all went well, it should be A, C, and E. And lo and behold, there it is, A, C, and E. Now, it doesn't capture the beginning part sometimes of the kick because it just can't detect it properly, but that's good enough. So I know now that my kicks are in tune. So in other words, now when I go back to this piano roll, this note, when it plays, those two are definitely going to play an A tone or an A pitch. And this one here is definitely going to play an E pitch. Okay, so that's all there is to it. Now let's take another listen to the song now that we've properly pitched or properly tuned our kick, and it should sound a little better than it did before. There it is. That's all there is to it. Now remember, not all kick drums are going to be tunable to the same degree. So, use them wisely. But I hope you guys can make use of this and make your own music better by using the techniques that I show you here. And before I go, I just want to remind you guys about Warbeats.com. It does have a lot of resources for you guys. It's got beat feedback. It's got beat battles. It's got forums. It's got a file section with over 2,000 files, including VSTs, drum kits, project files, remakes. We've got an audio video chat where you can go in there. You can get, if you have a webcam and a microphone, you can participate in that. If you just want to type, you can do that too. But all these things that we have there are free. They're all free for you to use and to benefit from. So, if you haven't tried out Warbeats, come check it out. In my opinion, some of the best things in life are free, and Warbeats is one of those things. You'd be a sucker not to come by and at least check it out. Don't judge until you come through and see what we have there. And if you don't feel it and it's not for you, no hard feelings. But you owe it to yourself to come through and see what we have to offer you guys. So enough of the commercial. This is NFX saying, I'll catch you guys in the next one.